Fishful Thinker Television, brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, the great indoors for those who love the great outdoors. Toyota Trucks, moving forward. Hewlett-Packard, invent. St. Croix Rod, fish with an American legend. All right, we are out here. It's May in Colorado, and we're out with Nathan Zielinski from Tightline Outfitters. We're on Spinning Mountain Reservoir. It's a beautiful morning, nice and calm. Got a great scenery in the background, and the best part is we're trolling 12-inch long trout plugs, looking for gigantic northern pike. So we're gonna do some trolling today. We've got 4 lines spread out, if you can see here behind us, which we'll talk about over the course of the show. But we've got 4 lines out on side planer boards, running relatively light line and looking for the biggest pike you have ever seen. So thanks for joining us. Hang in there. Should be a good show. Absolutely. Nate, you got any predictions for the day? Anything you expect we might see?
We've just been trying to get some big fish. This lake has some big fish. We have personal goals, you know, getting those big ones.
Sure.
It's been a good week, and let's just hope it continues today.
That's the way to do it. So we're going to continue to fish along here, and we'll adjust our speeds, we'll adjust our baits a little bit, but sooner or later we'll get figured out what these big pike want. So hang in there, and welcome to Fishful Thinker Television. Much out here, it's just a big old bowl, huh?
Exactly. As far as equipment, we got planer board rods, 8-foot rods, just, you know, real flexible rod, and we have line counter reels. Okay. So this way, you know, you clear it there, it has a counter right on it. Right. That way we're getting to the same spot every single time.
And we're using great big floating Rapalas today, imitating trout, lots of trout in here, pike yeah. Eating lots of trout, so that's what we're looking at.
So we start off, we put it right at the rod tip so we're accurate. If you put it down any lower, we're getting off our mark. 1-2 feet can mean, you know, a whole lot. So we put it 3/4 of the way in that front clip, drop back, right behind that post, get about that much slack. That way we got that. We leave that slack in there so we have a little bit of, you know, just absorption if we really get a monster. Then we basically loosen up the drag, put it on clicker, and start setting it out. That'll work its way out, then I'll start with another side, and we'll just boom, boom until we get them out.
Trolling's hard work, man. I can sit up here and work on an energy drink and check out the pelicans in front of the boat and enjoy the morning sunshine. I might have to do some more trolling.
What's that?
It's looking pretty good right this minute.
Like, I have a feeling we got a little one on that. Instead of shooting back, just a big fish, it just, I mean, doesn't, you're like, oh, what's going on? And then it just slowly keeps going. Because all they do is just clamp on it and just stop and just give up. They're like, whatever.
He's way back there.
We got 276 to go.
Yeah, and keep in mind that the fish is 45 feet behind that board. So even when we get the board up here close.
Grab the board for me. There we go.
There.
Not even sure if it's a pike. Is it? It's a pike.
Yeah, it's a pike.
There we go.
Big pike eat little pike, apparently. Like by that, you can see that that plug is approximately 25% the length of that fish's mouth. Look at the fangs in there. We'll let Nate get him unhooked here.
We will. We are going for fish that will eat this fish.
You got him? We're going for fish that will eat that fish. I like the sounds of that. Need some pliers, or you got him?
We should be good.
There you go. Well, let's put him back and get another one.
There we go.
Well done, man. It's got a line counter on the reel, so we know exactly how much line we've got out behind the boat. Now we'll put the planer board on here, and then we'll drop again a measured amount of line back so we can have a repeatable system that if we do get one bite, we can get other fish on the same pattern. That's the plan. But the line counter is really important for trolling, and something that it basically makes it repeatable so that you have some way to know exactly what you did and able to duplicate it for the next time. Now becomes the marathon winding session. Now
We're gonna sit here, and as he pumps, I'm gonna slap his hand.
No pump the rod. Now you're talking to an old school Florida guy. That you pump and reel, pump and reel. You don't get away with just cranking on them like this. Now I'm a right-handed guy. I actually reel the other way, so. You got that? All right.
Now, the biggest thing we're promoting here too is a pattern. No matter if this fish is small or large, this time of year they're together.
I'm gonna swing him up in here.
Nonetheless, it is a pattern.
All right, I'll let you take hold of him. Yeah, it's shining in the sun. Well done. Now again, that fish is, you wouldn't think could even eat that, but that's why they're voracious predators. They got big mouths, they got big teeth. Allows them to eat a plug like that. Another one.
Big cut on the side from other predator fish hitting them.
His gill cover's split, or gill. Yeah. Man, they are chewed up, aren't they? Nice colors on them. Man, they got nice colors on them. Neat little fish. Huh.
Hopefully we'll catch him in a couple years.
Now we need his great grandma. Now, do you find, Nate, that there is a difference between where the big fish roam and the little fish roam as far as depth?
No. After May, yes. Back in October, it goes back, it doesn't matter. We made the first pass deep, we made the second pass shallow. Now we're gonna finish off this pass, reel up everything, check for weeds, and we're gonna do it one more time. And this time we're gonna run 2 shallow and 2 just slightly deeper, still on the upper half of the water column, but just maybe bring it just another foot lower in the water column to see those bigger fish are there.
And what do we want here? We want 240 out?
We're gonna let that one out probably 315.
315. He just wants to see how far I can reel it again. That's what it really comes down to.
I'm gonna start being like my buddy on the turbot trail. We'll run it out 600 feet.
Yeah, 600 feet behind the boat. Get the binoculars out to watch the flag.
That's it. Once we get to set, we tighten up that drag and we're fishing.
You ever get them to bite when they're going out like this?
We get them going out and we've caught them reeling in.
I bet. Yeah.
You know, I have mine on clicker as it's letting out to slow it down a little bit. And boy, it's fun when you're messing around, all of a sudden you hear that clicker speed up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that reminds me of saltwater days.
We do a lot of night fishing for walleye, and you know, people, I tell them I'm going out and I'm planer board fishing at night, and they're like, you're crazy. You know, you can barely night fish alone. How are you pulling planer boards? And we get good courses on the GPS, and we just keep everything to where that drag's just barely not going out, and you'll be trolling along, and all of a sudden, you know, you'll have a walleye on. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, there you go. Here on Spinny Mountain Reservoir, Spinny Mountain's got a lot of big trout and a lot of pike in it. And big baits for big bites, isn't that what they say?
That's it. Yeah. That's for sure.
So we're gonna wait for those flags to go down, covering a big old swath of lake here.
And that's the funniest thing, everybody says it. So we got big baits, big fish, and light line.
And light line, yeah.
We use 10-pound test mainly because we beef it up at all, and you can't get the baits down to the depth we're looking for.
That makes good
sense.
You
know, we're running these baits a certain depth to get to a certain water level. You switch to that heavier line, and it just doesn't get there.
This fish definitely feels bigger.
It's a lot bigger, so we're going to take it easy, no pumping. If you look at the back of the board, if we can get that, see how he flipped the board over? That's because the fish is staying deep and trying to turn. When he turns sharp and goes deep, it messes up the plane of that board there. Now, the only thing you got to be careful about on these pike is that fish right there is acting like a very, very adult, mature fish. Sometimes you get the little ones that get foul hooked. The way that he's dropping behind the boat, my first case scenario is going to say that's a very mature fish.
Okay.
And this is the hard thing with this. We're talking no pumping, no setting the hook. You don't realize that. I mean, we have these drags as tight as they go. It's like hooking into a snag. I mean, you know,
in fact, I'm gonna go ahead and snug that.
It's very, very hard to do this, and your arms get tired. And all you want to do is pump it because it would make it so much
easier. Yeah.
But the second we pump it, those fish are gonna shake their heads with no steel leader, things like that. That's where we start losing fish.
Well, and I'm trying to figure out how to manage a rod. I fished for 37 years with the other hand.
So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take that planer board off, and you're going to loosen your drag a little bit.
Okay.
Get it to where it's a fighting stage for the pike, and then we'll go from there and see what we got.
Okay. Where you want him there, buddy? We'll see if we can swing him up here a little bit. Oh, that's a good sized pike right there. Oh, buddy. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, just a beautiful fish, and you can see how beat up they get through the course of the spawn, fighting, battling. I mean, it's just, they're like alligators.
That's an unbelievable fish. I would love to hold a fish like that. That is a monster pike. Now, I don't know how big that thing is, but I can tell you that that's the biggest pike that I have personally ever caught. Thanks again, Mr. Zielinski, for that. And we've been out here for, like I say, about 30 minutes. We made a trolling pass going one direction, turned around, shallowed the baits up a little bit, made a quick adjustment. That's what separates a really good angler from an average guy is Nate made one pass. So, no, we're too deep, we're gonna try shallow. And we turned shallow and look what we got. So that's a beautiful fish.
We had confidence, we said, hey.
Teeth on that thing, big old bucket mouth on him.
See, we'll get that.
That's beautiful.
You can see those big fangs.
That is a big old honking pike right there. That's what I'm talking about, folks. And we're gonna get him back in the drink relatively quick. We'll put a tape on him, keeps everyone honest here. 39. That's my guess.
Yes, sir. We're right at 40.
Right at 40. Woo! 40 inches right off the bat.
Here we go, guys. Dad's 40-incher, beautiful fish. What we do is we hold him here, we give him a little while. You know, it takes a lot out of these fish to fight him in like that, so we'll make sure he's real good. Give him a second here. He's ready to go moving. And what a beautiful fish. And this fish now, even though look at how broad that back is, this fish has just begun to start feeding after the spawn. I mean, this fish here is just going to gain weight for another 3 weeks before the vegetation comes up and he starts sitting down. So, I mean, just...
geez, and at that size, he can eat just about anything he wants. So
I'm going to let him go, and you're going to see him. It's cool. He's going to stay right on the surface. His tail's going to come up as he rejuvenates himself, and then he'll start sinking down slow. His tail will come up, and then boom, down to the depths.
I guess you've done that before, huh? If you can call him on the release, that is excellent, excellent, excellent. Excellent. Tightline Outfitters coming through for us right there, man. That is good stuff. One more time. That's good fun right there. Excellent. All right, so you've chosen that you're going to use spinning tackle. Now it's time to get a reel. You're going to be throwing light lures, you're going to be throwing light lines, you're going to be using a spinning reel. Similar to choosing the rod, if you'll read what the manufacturer writes right on the reel for recommendations for how much and how heavy of line the reel is designed to hold, that will make all the difference in making sure that you end up with the right spinning reel for the application. If you're going to be using one of the new super lines, a Fire Line or a Stren Super Braid or whatever you might be using, keep in mind that the manufacturer will put the diameter of that line on the box, and that will compare to what you have on the base of the reel right here as well. So again, if you read the reel, you're going to end up with a reel that's more appropriate for your application. If you've chosen bait casting tackle because you're throwing heavier lures or you're throwing heavier line, maybe you're trolling, understand that similar to choosing a spinning reel, the retrieve ratio that's built into that reel is equally important. For every turn that this particular reel goes around the handle, this is a 5-to-1 ratio, this spool will retrieve 5 turns of line. That's a relatively slow gear ratio by bait casting standards. They could go as high as 7.1 to 1. Another very important thing when choosing a bait casting reel is the combination of the high-speed brake and the low-speed brake that's built into that reel. Those two, when adjusted correctly, will keep that reel casting accurately day in and day out. Now, for a guy that wants to come out and catch pike, you got to have some big baits. I mean, a pike is a voracious predator. He can eat just about anything he wants. And you look at this is a professional pike guide's box of goodies. And pike are well known for being predatory on their own or carnivorous, I guess what's the right word on it? Cannibals. Thank you, Mr. Farnsworth. Cannibalistic. And there is a good example of why when you get serious about it, we can start throwing some of these. And that's a Paul Bunyan lure that he's got going there. And then he's got another one that's bigger than those still that we're going to throw in a little bit. But you start throwing baits like this, you know you're fishing now. there's brookies I've caught smaller than these. So these are beautiful, beautiful lures. A whole couple different varieties here I can see in the box, different brands. And everything from fire stick minnows to Rapalas to big bombers. So yeah, it's good stuff right there. I don't know. All right, looks like we got another one loaded up here. He's 410 feet behind the boat, so it could be a while. We'll just go ahead and start cranking on this guy and see what happens here. Hard to tell how big they are. When you get back here and you get that planer board, you got no idea really what you got hooked, you know? I mean, I could have anything from another big brown trout to a pike like I've only imagined, so you just never know. But the 360 feet, we'll figure it out, I suppose. Doesn't feel as big as the last one, but I long ago learned not judge a fish. It's the size of the dog in the fight or the fight in the dog. But he's still a long ways out there. I'm gonna step back here just a little bit and let Nathan get a hold of this planer board here. Gently lift up on that. All right, we got him out here now. We got him off the planer board, so now there's about 100 feet to the fish, give or take. We'll just keep pulling him in. What do we got back there? Well, looks like we got us a little guy this time. So I say it's hard to tell with the planer board, but we did get one, and that's all we need. And any fish that's that small that makes my arm feel, I'm going to just swing him up in here. Any pike that small that makes my arm feel like that has got my respect. Good stuff, Mr. Zielinski, good stuff. Yep, we'll good work. Yep.
Catch him in a little while.
There you go. See you next year. Look at him go. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. We'll take it. Good stuff. 351 feet until I get to see what I got on the other end of here.
We had it 419, so we gained it.
Hold the rod in my weak arm just for grins and reeling with my right hand, so I'm backwards from what I normally do. And we're gonna just be real smooth. All right. Well,
crossing behind the boat.
You can feel him definitely changing pressure on me. 277 and counting. This feels like a good one. All right, Mr. Zielinski, what do you think? Any bets?
I'm saying 41 inches.
41, I like your enthusiasm. I can tell you, folks, that yours truly needed more Wheaties this morning because already my left tricep.
I'd say our two options are a snag trout or a very large pike. The board went down just like we like it. Everything's very smooth, easy. Fish is crossing over. It's a good time.
It could be a snag trout. I didn't even think about that. All right, 170 feet, still cranking. Not fish is actually still taking a little bit of drag against the reel. I don't want to tighten it because I don't want to change the pressure on him. Try to keep it real even here.
Scoot over.
Okay, let me back up here just a touch. So
kind of coming at us now. The board's moving quicker.
We want to take this planer board off, and then we can go to fighting the fish. The fish is something like 60 feet behind this board.
We got this one at 100. I changed it up.
Changed it up at 100. Okay, so now we got a fish back there. Now we got rid of that nasty old board.
Loosen that drag ahead.
Okay.
Just, we don't want to change too much pressure, but in case you make a big run on us.
Okay, I think we're good for that. He's going way over here behind the boat here.
The best sign is when they cross the boat. The big fish like to cross over that boat.
Well, this is definitely a good sized fish, or I snagged some.
Drag loosen up?
Yeah, I think so. I'll loosen it a little bit more. Got a head shake on it. Okay.
That hook's out. We don't want to bust on the steel plate.
Okay. We'll keep leaning on him. He's got a big old bend in this 8-foot long rod here. This feels like a good one. He's throbbing down there. Yeah, right, deep color. Oh, that's a nice one. All right, let's bring him up here gracefully. You got him? All right, woo! Another big one. On the tail hook, barely got him. That's what I'm talking about. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. What a hog. Look at the fangs on this thing. What a fish. Holy cow. You could tell that one was big from the get-go. Thank you, Mr. Zielinski. May I hold him? He's got a humpback.
Yeah, he's got some weird...
Look at that thing now. Now we've been trolling the planer boards. We've varied up our depths. We've varied up the distance behind the planer board. We've varied up the distance of the lines, the speed of the boat. And by varying it up, we got us the humpback. We got the humpback pike from Notre Dame or however that goes. But Absolutely
Look at
beautiful
the
spinning
teeth
mountain
on
fish.
that,
Yeah, let's see if
yeah.
we can get him to point at the camera if you can. There you go. Look at the fangs on this
Get
thing.
him to drop his jaw.
Open up. Did you have? I'm like, not want to grab him, but you look at that and you get an idea. Watch your fingers there, dude. I've seen this on gator wrestling.
You see, if you pull down that membrane, you can
Woo!
see those daggers.
That is a
Think what they
serious.
can fit in that mouth.
That's a predator right there,
Hold your
folks. That
fish.
I'd
Look
like
at
to give that
that.
thing a quick grip. Oh, that's a nice one, huh? Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that. That's a gorgeous fish, folks. And you know, before we throw this back, I want to thank you very much for watching today. We've had a great time out here on Spinning Mountain Reservoir with Nathan Zielinski from Tightline Outfitters. Got another beautiful fish here in the boat. It's absolutely wonderful. So we'll hope you guys will join us next week for another great show somewhere here in the Mountain States region. So beautiful fish. Great way to end the day. I might even kiss him on the top of the head. I don't normally kiss the ones with teeth,
and
but
that's not unregular for us in Colorado.
yeah,
We
I
get
like to
these
kiss
fish
him whenever I can. Well, let's put him back in the drink and he'll be good to go. And tail him over here. Let him get some air underneath him here. See if I can get a hold of him. Hey, 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 it's pretty slippery here. There we go. Get some air under his gills. There you go, buddy. What a fish, huh? Absolute monster. Gnarly. Well, that's if you do something stupid. So I have that tape in there, then I don't lose time as a tournament fisherman. Plus, I don't look bad having to pull out backlashes on film, you know? If Nate had a bigger lake, we'd have more line out behind the boat. We just run out of room. Now, I told you I didn't know anything about trolling. You ever catch any marlin doing this? You stand here and look around like, okay, now what do we do?